All right, hey guys, welcome back into Mr. Shooty's art class. Got a new project for you guys, a really quick, easy one that I do for their folders or their portfolios, sometimes I call them, which is what we store all of our art in. It's a way to decorate that, but this can be just a fun project. Sometimes I pair it together with putting their name on it. Sometimes I call it an exploding name. So this exploding name project has a bunch of different options. The kids can really use any color combinations that they want, and there's a bunch of different ways that they can do it. I'll show you some cool examples just to get you an idea of how the colors kind of explode from the middle and work their way out. Are just awesome. Every kid does it differently, and that's what I always try to challenge the kids to do, is to make it look different than the neighbors or the table mates that are at their table. So no two should look the same, that they're all a little different. So the easiest way to do this, as I said, I do this on the folder after the kids have their folder and have their name written on the top of there. So I'll do that first because that's the first thing I have them do. And then after their name, they usually put what section that they're in. For the exploding name, I think I'm gonna do, two of my favorite colors are blue and green. So I'm gonna take blue and green and start that. With the start of this, it's kind of up to you also. Some people do their name first. We talk about bubble and block letters, and I have a tutorial on that if you need to know or kind of need a refresher on bubble and block letters. Most people are really good at bubble and block letters, and even as my kids get a little bit older, they're really good at almost like graffiti style letters, or just making their own kind of unique or cursive letters they could even do. So some people start out with the name first, some people start out with the explosion first. It's kind of up to you. Some classes I guide to do one versus the other. Some I just give them the open option to do either one. So I'm going to start with the explosion first. So there's a bunch of different ways. If you want to practice this on another sheet, the easiest way that I found, especially as I start with kindergarten and first grade, is just to kind of start out with a dot or kind of a little squiggle in the middle and go back and forth from one color. Maybe pick your two favorite colors and almost like scribbling or squiggle lines, and then go back and forth. Doesn't have to be perfect. I still try to leave almost a little bit of white or of the color of the paper and not go right up next to it, because usually when you go right up next to the color, it kind of blends and smears together, and that isn't really good for markers. For like crayons or oil pastels, smearing would be okay, but for markers, we don't like to smear them. So this one, just kind of squiggle and do some zigzags or squiggle lines or scribbling. This is one of the few projects where you can actually scribble. So that's why I always like to start off the year with that one, because it's a fun one. And you can start to see already how it starts to look almost like a little explosion, or some people call this a firework project also, because it tends to look like a firework in there. So that's one way that you can do that. There's also, some people do just kind of like straight lines around, I guess a little bit neater in that, to where they're almost just not doing really the squiggles and almost just making kind of like a target or a bullseye symbol. Some people really exaggerate those squiggles and almost make like zigzags as they're going around, and then they kind of fill the other ones in between. So you can do a little bit bigger zigzags, but really you just want to have an explosion of color, like some of those good examples that I showed you, and that's the unique part of this. So hopefully this is a fun, easy project to get you guys started. It gives me a little bit of hint with my classes because they do it on their portfolios. So it's a good kind of indication of what their art ability is. And it's just a fun first aid project because they don't have to think about it too much. It's up really the style that they're doing and their favorite colors, and they make it fun. So after then they have the explosion, or I would have the explosion on there. Then they could do their name in Sharpie on the top. And really the main point of this, again, is just to make it different and unique. And really every day that you come into art class, you can see your folder and you'll know that it's your folder because it stands out, because usually I just spread all the folders out on the tables, and that's a good way to be able to tell which is your folder because you can see your unique design. So definitely give this a thumbs up if you like this project. Hit a comment below on maybe two of your favorite colors that you would do, and always hit that subscribe button if you haven't already for all my fun, awesome, free videos coming out multiple times a week. I am Mr. Shooty. This is Mr. Shooty's art class, and we will see you guys later.